Hello everyone, my name is Mariam Mokhtar. Malaysia may be independent on paper, but I am sure you will agree that until corruption, disunity, inequality, and racial intolerance, as well as religious extremism and conservatism are overcome, the country will not experience the full spirit of Merdeka. You voted Pakatan Harapan, but then you got a unity government in which the main political party that you thought you had kicked out in 2018 is now back in power, and many unsavory characters are back in the cabinet. That does not make for a real Merdeka, does it? So what is a real Merdeka? What is real independence? A real Merdeka is when the rakyat get what they voted for. However, I am sure they did not vote for a continuation of racial discrimination, which we are still experiencing. The rakyat did not vote for a continuation of the wealth disparity between the rich and the poor. We insult our workers when we pay them minimal wages, and then we import cheap foreign labor so that we can take advantage of the reduced amount of money we need to pay them. We tend to treat people like slaves. We claim to be anti-corruption, but look at how many corrupt people are in government. Politicians, allegedly corrupt, and look at how corruption is institutionalized, a bit like racism is institutionalized. Our people claim to be religious and will defend, for instance, Islam by claiming it is under threat. But look at how we abuse our children, women, and marginalized communities, and freely insult those of other religions. I think even God is ashamed of our behavior. Let's look at the Constitution. In 1957, the people agreed on a constitution for their new country, this is back then, and led by the Tunku, they shouted from their hearts, Merdeka. The Constitution bestowed equal citizenship on everyone, irrespective of race or religion. And do remember that the word Bumiputra was not coined then and does not exist in the 1957 Constitution. It made Islam the official religion of the state, but it was clear that the country is secular. There was no discrimination of religion. We were free to practice our religions without hindrance or harassment. A multicultural nation. We were Malaya. Later we became Malaysia, a multicultural nation. We mixed freely. We visited each other and we sat together in coffee shops. All of us were equal citizens. There was no Bumiputraism and no Ketuanan Melayu, putting one race above everybody else. We were proud to be Malayans or Malaysians later on first. Our football team was the best in the region, comprising the best from the Indian community, Malay community, and also the Chinese community. And now we choose our team based on their skin color and not their skills. We even have quotas. We are now at the bottom of the football ladder. I don't know much about football, but a friend told me we can't even beat a 4th division team from England. That's what he said. Our judiciary was respected. The law enforced efficiently and without racial or political bias. The University of Malaya was a respected institution. Our graduates were sought after. But now, today, our universities are a laughingstock. At that time, we were fluent in English besides our mother tongues, plus the national language, Malay. Now, English is hardly spoken or understood. And there is also a greater polarization in schools. The non-Malays opt for vernacular schools, although more increasing numbers of Malays are going to vernacular schools or private English medium schools or international schools. Many Malays, like I said, have opted for Chinese schools because of the higher standard of education and the discipline. Government schools are almost single race. And now we come to racial mixing. Where is the racial mixing so important in building a multicultural nation? How do we get from what we are now, we are now inward-looking, racist, intolerant, and getting more backward and poorer relative to the other countries around us, even to our neighbors? A multicultural nation of equal citizens, liberal, outward-looking, prosperous, and progressive. How do we get to be that? Let us look at the 1957 dream. So what happened to that dream, to the dream of 1957? What happened to the rainbow nation of many races, but one people under a government for all, and not just for some? And where is the more equal society where citizens share in the country's wealth? Because today, the wealth gap between the rich Malays and the poor Malays has widened, relatively more than that for other races. Now, we have an expanding urban poor joining their rural cousins. How many of those below the poverty line have we lifted in these 68 years? According to the World Bank, China has lifted more than 500 million people from poverty between 1981 and 2011. And that's a drop from 88% to 6.5%. It's all to do with efficiency, good policies, and political will. It's not from playing racial politics. So if we talk about our nation's wealth, where did our oil wealth and that of other natural resources go? What the convicted felon Najib Abdul Razak stole from the country is a pittance compared to what has been stolen, squandered, and gambled away over the years. And it's not just about money, because we have lost billions, the equivalent of billions of ringgits in the brains that we exiled to other countries by our racist policies. We have lost billions by being less competitive, by not using our best people. We tie the hands of our more productive citizens. We are less creative than we would have been had we allowed 1,000 different flowers to bloom without favouring any particular one. Some of us thought that the 9th of May 2018 was the real Merdeka. But as you are aware, then came the Sheraton move, and now the Madani mishmash. We want Harapan to keep its promises, but thus far, the rollout of the reforms have been sluggish. We are told to be patient for these reforms to happen. But then you see, we have been waiting decades, and while all this is going on, we do not just lose billions to corruption, billions of ringgits to corruption, but the equivalent of billions of ringgits in the brain drain. we are losing our best talent because of the divisive nature of race and religious discriminatory policies. And therefore, we need to rebuild Malaysia, and we need to do it from the ground up. Thank you for listening. Speak to you soon. If you like my videos, please press like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please also visit my Patreon channel if you wish to sponsor me. Thank you.